From the Gospel of Elohim, the visions of Daniel, and the times of the end. And the coming of the holy kingdom of Elohim, the sovereign king, Elohim Iy'ELU'YAH, at Elohim's coming. The coming of Iy'ELU'HYMN'Iy the king. Iys coming. The coming of Iy, the Ancient of Days. Daniel 12:1, and at the time of the end, the holy emanation of Elohim, the great prince, Elohim Michael, shall stand up. The sovereign one whom Iys called Elohim would be standing up for the children of Elohim, the Hebrews, Iys chosen people, the Elohim'Iy Israelites, whom shall begin to fight. And there shall be desolations, and abominations, and a time of trouble, and a lot of problems such as never was before, and like nothing that was ever seen before, and not since the Elohim'Iy Israelites, them were a nation back then. And it shall be a lot of problems and much trouble, and much destruction, like the bombing of nations that would cause many desolations, and the like, and this would be everywhere. And at that same time the people of Elohim, the Elohim'Iy Israelites, them shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in Iy's book of life. Daniel 12:2, and many that were sleeping in the dust of the earth shall awake. And at that same time many of them shall go into everlasting life. And many shall go into eternity, and also many would go into hell with shame and contempt. Daniel 12:3, and all those that are Elohim'Iys, they shall be as the stars, and they shall shine as the brightness of the firmament of Iy's heavens. And they that are wise, those who have turned many to righteousness shall be as the stars forever and ever. Daniel 12:4, but you Daniel, you shall be rewarded and you shall receive your rewarded lot. And even you shall be sealed at the end, with many more at the end. And at the time of the end, knowledge shall increase. And many shall come and go and run to and fro as fast as the wind, as knowledge increases, but you Daniel you write this book and you seal it up. And then you shut it up because this knowledge is for those that are afar off, those that are in the time of the end, when knowledge shall increase and when many shall run to and fro, but it shall be at the end time. Daniel 12:5, and when I Daniel looked where Elohim stood, and as I beheld Elohim, there, I also saw two other angels, one on the right-hand side of the banks of the river, and the other on the left-hand side of the banks of the river. Daniel 12:6, and one of the angels said to Elohim, my sovereign, Elohim, Iy'ELU'HYMN'Iy, my sovereign Elohim, Armen. The glorious majestic King, Elohim, Iy'ELU'HYMN'Iy, who looks like the sun, who was clothed in linen, who was upon the waters of the river. How long shall it be until the end of these things? And when is it going to be the ending of time? And when would it be the beginning for all these wonders and all these things? Daniel 12:7, and I Daniel heard Iy'ELU'HYMN'Iy, the Son, the sovereign King, who was clothed in linen, the sovereign Elohim, who then answered and swore, and said I am Elohim, Armen, Iy'ELU'YAH, who is alive forever and lived forever. And I saw Elohim held up his hands and Elohim swore by himself and to those that were on the banks of the waters of the river, when Elohim held up his right hand and his left hand. And then Elohim swears by Iy's heavens and by Iy's holy name, the name, Elohim, Iy'ELU'HYMN'Iy, Iy'ELU'HYMN'Iy. Elohim Armen Iy'ELU'YAH. Elohim Iy'ELU'HYMN'Iy. Iy'Yahweh. Whose name is Iy'Yah. And Iy'Yahweh. And whose holy names Iy'Yah and Iy'Yah and any other, and whom is alive forever and ever. And whom is alive forever, and who is living forever and ever, that all these things that were prophesied that they shall come to pass, and at the end time. And not until then, the 2,300 days of years. And then I Elohim would be there. And that I Elohim will come for a time, from the 1,060 days of years. Until the 1,090 days of years, and when I Elohim shall come. I Elohim would beget the Elohim Israelis the gift of everlasting life. Because I Elohim would come to bring redemption to them, and also the free gift of salvation and justification, and for the atonement of all Iy's elected ones, and also for their forgiveness, and for their restoration to Iy's righteousness, and also to restore Elohim's Olam, Iy's universe, and to establish Iy's holy kingdom, and to perfect Iy's creation, and then Iy's holy kingdom would be established. And then, when I Elohim shall return, then finally all Iy's Elohim Israel would be gathered. And at that same time I Elohim would have accomplished and finish all these wonderful things. And these are the prophesied times that I Elohim would come. And I Elohim will gather Iy'ELU'HYMN'Iy them at the end time. And I Elohim will have established Iy's holy kingdom, my millennium kingdom in Iy's earth. And at that same time I Elohim would gather Iy'ELU'HYMN'Iy, and all my elected ones. And at that time all these things would be accomplished. And that would be the time when I Elohim will scatter the nations, and I would have scattered the powers of the nations and the power of the people, the heathen in the earth. And then Iy's people Iy'ELU'HYMN'Iy, my people them would be all gathered, and they will be with me Elohim, then I Elohim would accomplish all these wonderful things. Then I Elohim would have finished the restoration of all things. Then I Elohim would then take Iy's rest, when all the powers of the people in Iy's world would come to an end, and Nomen Adam whom is also known as Gog and God and Godriel and Satan would be vanquished. Daniel 12:8, and I Daniel heard it, but I didn't understand. And then, I said, O my sovereign, my king, Iy'ELU'YAH, when would you restore all things? And what time would you come again and beginning to do all these wonderful things? And when would you accomplish all these things? And when would it be the end of time? And when would you come to accomplish all these things? And then take your rest? Daniel 12:9, and Elohim said, to me, O Daniel, you are greatly loved. But these things, and all of my sayings, and all these prophecies are for those that are afar off. And they are for those that are at the end time. But you, Daniel, you shall be gone, you shall pass away, because these prophecies of this book is for those who are living in the end time. So, Daniel, you write down my words, and all of these prophecies in a book, and you closed it up. And then I will sealed it up. Until I Elohim shall revealed it to them in the time of the end. Daniel 12:10, because many shall die and many shall be tried and many shall be made white and many shall be purified, but the wicked shall continue to do more wickedness. And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Daniel 12:11, but the times are set. And the abominations them shall destroy mankind. And it shall take away many. And it shall make the earth desolate. And many people shall be wickedly sacrificed dearly. And many shall lose their lives daily. And many shall be taken away wickedly. And from the time that the abominations them are set off, that will make the world desolate, I Elohim shall be there. But the end shall not come until the 2,300 days of years. Daniel 12:12, and blessed are they that are waiting until I Elohim comes. Those who are waiting and watching and praying. And all those that are serving me, because I Elohim will come. And blessed are those, even those who are waiting at the time of the end. When I Elohim comes, and blessed are those who are waiting until I Elohim comes for the 1,060 days of years. And until the 1,090 days of years. Because I Elohim will come and live with my people and to forgive them. And then I Elohim will present them with an invitation to my holy kingdom, and also to Iy's holy new ELU'HYMN'Iy Jerusalem. Which will come down from Iy's heaven and Iy would be dwelling in Iy's earth. And I Elohim will be there. And then after that I Elohim will return to Iy's heavens, but I will be there as ELU'YAH, and as Iy, the holy prophet, and Iy'ELU'YAH. And Iy'ELU would be here until the 1,090 days of years. And then, I Elohim will come for the 1,235 days of years, and then after the 2,035 days of years. And then I Elohim will be here for the 2,300 days of years, the day. And I Elohim will be here with my new ELU'HYMN'Iy Jerusalem, my holy habitation. when I Elohim will come to gather all the Elohim'Iy Israelites, and also all my elected ones in the earth. And until the end. So, Iy'ELU'HYMN'Iy would be there from the 1,300 days of years to the 2,300 days of years. For a time, and then Elohim would return finally, for 1,000 years. Elohim will be here. In that day. Daniel 12:13, but you Daniel, you shall be gone, because you shall go to your rest. And all these prophecies, and all these things, they shall be at the end times. And that's when you shall stand in your lot. In that day. Daniel. And this word of prophecy is for those at the ending of days. Because you, Daniel, you shall pass away and you shall go to your rest. And then you shall stand in your lot, your reward, at the end time, and this will be at the end times, and in that day. Many would behold the Ancient of Days, and that would be the coming of the Almighty the Sovereign Elohim'Iy, the Holy One, the Ancient of Days. The end.